All right.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
So, wow, that's something, isn't it?
What is the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that on the fly
like that.
today. It's a little like snippet and everything like that of like Gacy and all this other stuff. I was like, this is neat.
It looks like when they were pulling some of the
Pulling the bodies out from
of
the
the
crawl
house.
space.
Yep.
It's very stinky.
You know those damn crawl spaces.
Stinky.
I love Macabre. The best part about waking up in the morning is Folgers, but having coffee lately, it's actually nice again. I was like, oh, this is great. I haven't had coffee in forever.
Speaking of which, I'm having an existential crisis this evening because I have absolutely no creamer for my coffee.
Oh,
I've been getting the collagen creamer stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Is it powdered? What is it?
Yeah, they have a powdered one, and it mixes into the coffee nice because it's hot coffee, so it doesn't clump up like when you just get regular collagen.
Wait, there's regular. What are you?
I'm getting a lollipop. God,
you're putting extra sounds in this. I'm just kidding. We just fixed the XO. I can't talk right now. I literally cannot talk. So
my nose itches.
I guess we should start this. Hello and welcome everybody. This is You Can't Sit With Us. I am Hex's Daemon. This is Hikyo. Hikyo Daemon. And that is Mother de la Mort.
I will intentionally smack this in the.
Go ahead. I am stoned right now. It's not bothering me at all.
Look, she's always ready to kill us by the end of all this anyway.
Oh. We can just totally take that audio and just use the audio and play Guess the Sounds. Is this our OnlyFans page or is this our podcast? I gotta go use the bathroom. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. Well, I was going to tell you a really unusual story that happened to our daughter today, but I guess I'll wait.
Huh. Killer clowns and suckers and then there's a really odd story that happened to Odd Daughter today.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
So, by the way, this one's bomb. It's like lime and chili.
There, look. Okay. Tacos and everything else are pretty good, but that the Hispanic culture has given us, but their candies are garbage. I'm sorry. No. Steak spices and candies don't go together.
Chili leche lollipops, and I love these, and I love the ones that are covered, the corn ones that are covered in like basically tahini.
I found the mangoes that were covered in that, and oh my Lord, I can sit there and eat a whole bag of those things. And of course, I'm feeling really bad by the time I'm done, but they're so good.
Oh, you know what we got?
Thank you.
You know what we got the other night?
The strawberry ones are really good too.
You know what was really good the other night? Werther's Original.
They weren't the original.
Caramel apple.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Are you talking about the squares or the chews?
The chews. And we went through them.
They're hard candy on the outside and they were apple on the inside.
Yeah. And then there's a soft chew you can get where it's just all mixed in together.
They were, well, I'm sorry, Dizzy. I'm buying you more candy.
We got stoned. We ate all of your Werther's Originals. You got to say it that way too. Look, man.
I'm sorry.
You can't leave candy around us at all. Look, we love black metal, death metal, punk,
and clowns,
true crime, and murder, and all this other stuff, and we especially love candy. So they would definitely be abducted.
Sorry, my back really itched. All right.
We are talking Gacy tonight. This is going to be a fun one.
We are. And I know you guys have covered him, but I think it's the first time we've covered him as this podcast, isn't it? I mean, we've
Yeah.
touched on him several times. That old damn clown seems to pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
So let's just start with a very simple. Who was John Wayne Gacy?
He was a serial killer.
No
An
shit.
asshole.
Yes. He was a serial killer and a rapist who murdered at least 33 teenage boys and young men in Cook County, Illinois, burying most of them under his house. Sometimes known as the Killer Clown for his habit of dressing in a clown costume and makeup. When it says a habit, he was a freaking party clown.
He was definitely a party clown. I'll tell you.
And
that
we're not
right
talking
now.
about like woo woo.
We're talking about touchy. No, he never did that.
He was
Well, he
Don't
did
touch
do
my squeaky balloon.
no that thing about Dahmer
Mhm.
made that like that show. It made a nod saying that he was wearing his clown outfit when he was killing people.
Yeah, that's not the case.
That's not. No, I mean, there's no proof of any of that.
Mm-mm.
Now, I'm not saying he never did because we don't know. Maybe he did.
I mean, if
He
you
did. We don't know what went on in the bedroom for the most part.
Well, hey,
Do
honk,
you-
honk.
you remember, so back in the early 2000s, they started putting out some serial killer movies because they died. They were able to do it. Like, what's his face who plays Hawkeye right now? What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking
Jeremy
about.
Renner. Yeah, he played Dahmer, and he did a great job of it. And they also made a Gacy movie, and it was all the same. It was all the same, like a movie studio that put them out. So
Mhm.
they kind of had all the same style, and then they put out the Gacy movie. Well, one of the scenes in there, they have him with the clown makeup on, like using a garrote on one of the guys. And I was like, that did not happen. Come on, he did not go to the trouble of putting that clown makeup on and do that. He
That's
just
what
did
I'm
it.
saying. Like, it's not like he was running around in his pogo or patches, the clown outfits, and like going through the whole entire, gotta put the white paint on. Now I gotta draw the triangles. I'm gonna do the smile. Okay, now I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, it takes too much effort.
Look, it takes effort. Okay.
Look at him behind us right now. Do you think that man was, active enough to say, I'm going to go put on this clown makeup before I murder these kids? No, he was lazy. That's why.
No, but I tell you, I would imagine because he did a lot of this party clown thing for the JCs, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I would imagine that it would give him an opportunity to get close to
Yes.
children and somewhat make
yeah.
them feel comfortable. But even the clown makeup in itself, I mean, if you look at it, it was very different from a lot of the clown makeup that you normally see, and it was a little bizarre.
He strikes me as being out of breath by the time he's done putting on his makeup.
Oh yeah. And sweaty and stinky.
Like just the effort of putting on his clown makeup, he would be like,
Well, he was a Democrat. I went there. Those are facts. He legit was a Democrat, and he got within one step of what's his face's wife, Carter's wife.
oh yeah.
Yeah, he was at a function for for some fundraiser or something like that, and like Carter's wife was there, and he literally was shaking hands with her.
Well, that was like Bundy. What Bundy was with the Republican Party, and
he was
Yes, he
GOP.
was.
pretty like involved with a
Yeah.
lot of that scene, of the political scene. So yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. So Gacy had an abusive childhood and struggled with his homosexuality. Gacy committed all the murders in his Norwood Park home, luring his victims there with the promise of construction work or some other ruse. Then sexually assaulting and torturing them before killing them, usually by strangulation. Gacy was arrested in 1979, and the following year he was convicted of the 33 murders, and it was executed in 1994. So, quick facts. Full name, John Wayne Gacy. We already know that.
Named after John Wayne.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Interestingly enough, wasn't his mom's name Marion, which is actually John
Marion
Wayne?
Elaine Robinson.
There we go. Which
Oh,
Marion
Mrs.
is actually
Robinson.
John Wayne's name.
Is what?
Marion was his actual first name.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I never put that together.
Yep.
Wow.
So he was born March.
There was a lot of gun smoke and OK Corral going on in that household, I would imagine.
A lot of that and a lot of whiskey glasses being thrown at him too.
Oh yeah.
Well,
probably every time the Bears lost. There it was all done in Chicago. Da Bears.
So he was born March 17th, 1942. He died May 10th, 1994. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. His two spouses were Marilyn Myers, that was from 64 to 69, and Carol Hoff from 72 to 76.
Oh,
Hoff.
He was a Pisces too.
He was a Pisces. He was actually a Pisces.
I love
now
that.
that's a little odd because they always strike me as kind of laid back, unless you piss them off.
My dad's chill.
Did you guys ever catch the line in Batman '89 from the Joker? When he's all, she's like, "You're a psychopath" or whatever. He's all, "I thought it was a Pisces," and I was like, "Oh, that's what that's from." Is he put that in there from Gacy because,
sure,
the Joker likes to kill people.
I guess he was a Pisces with asshole rising.
Something like that.
Well, he definitely wanted to see some.
Oh my
asshole
God, you
rising.
can take that so many ways.
That's why I said it. His children were Michael and Christine.
Can we so the thing with Gacy is though, like, he struggled with his sexuality, but I genuinely think he was actually bisexual because he was married, had kids, all that stuff. So yeah.
Well, it was also in an era where you were one or the other, not both.
Well, I'm sorry, he even said he was bisexual.
But I'm saying it was in a time frame when you were either, if you were bi, you were gay.
Yeah,
Period.
he was. I'm sorry, but the Bears didn't exist for gay men at the time. So
well, they did, just not really in his area.
Well, and that's like when, like I said, I know we haven't actually talked about Gacy, like just John Wayne Gacy, but that's like when we were covering like the 70s pedophile ring, and on that, what was it, the podcast? And guys, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, it's really good. It's called The Clown and the Candyman.
Yeah.
And it was really good. But, the gay community like caught a lot of flack back then. But what I don't think a lot of people realize that if it wasn't for the gay community during that time, they probably wouldn't have caught Gacy as soon as they did.
Exactly.
Like, they did a lot to help track down and make the police aware that there were a lot of these underage male sex workers that were going missing.
Yeah. And it wasn't. Yeah, I think we even brought it up before then. With Gacy's, them riding the freeways and stuff like that. It probably wasn't unheard of him having a whole bunch of more victims because of it.
Yeah,
because of that sex trafficking that was going on then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about his childhood. As stated before, John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17th, 1942. In Chicago to John Stanley Gacy and Marion Elaine Robinson.
Good old Chi-Town.
His father was an auto repair machinist and a World War I veteran who struggled with alcoholism and beat John and his two sisters with a razor strap if they were perceived to have misbehaved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it like
Those
the
are
equivalent
thick.
to like 200 grit sandpaper too? Like
it's like an extremely thick and wide belt. Like think of a wrestler's belt.
Yeah.
Or like the strongman or something back in the day.
But it's also it's literally meant to sharpen those blades like to a
very
fine.
True.
So it's gonna also rip a little bit of skin there too. I mean, imagine taking even 200 grit sandpaper and just rubbing that against your skin.
Exactly. So John's father would frequently belittle him. He would call him stupid, and he would make disparaging remarks comparing him to his sisters.
He always called him a sissy. That was like the big thing for him.
Mm.
And that was one of the things that actually, just like in Kemper's case, it was like the opposite with his father going after him, and molding him. There's a good chance here, even with Gacy. If he didn't have this father in his life, a little bit better father, he might have not have become a killer.
Yeah. Well, by the way, the information that came from that we just, read through, is from a book by Barry E. Bushelli, Johnny and Me, the true story of John Wayne Gacy.
Hey, it's a Bushelli. You know, like a Bushelli. Why you don't read it, a Bushelli? He has a mozzarella.
So,
why does the name of that book just make me think of like flowers and puppies?
Johnny and Me.
Johnny and Me.
Probably because Marley and Me.
Pogo the Clown, man.
At the end, Pogo dies.
Honestly,
I know how this is going to end for both of them.
He got put down. Just like
I think just like Dean Corll, he was actually really good with girls. Dean Corll was very respectful to women and stuff like that. He was very good around like little girls and stuff easily. Get around the boys though. So, but you two probably could sit down and have a talk with him. But me, I would definitely get raped. I'm sorry. I'm too pretty for him. He wouldn't be able to contain himself.
Well, Gacy's psychosexual history began between the ages of 6 and 10.
That sounds like a freaking Slipknot song right there.
When a teenage daughter of one of his mother's friends reportedly undressed and played with him. And this is according to Terry Sullivan in his book, Killer Clown, The John Wayne Gacy Murders. Gacy was molested at a young age by a family friend and contractor between the ages of 10 and 12. Gacy and a friend were accused of sexually fondling a young girl as well.
So he was definitely showing signs of it and acting out on it.
Yes.
Wait, how old was he?
Between the so when the girl undressed in front of him, he was somewhere between 6 and 10. And then
how old was she?
She was a teenager.
Oh, okay.
But she apparently started fondling him.
I gotcha.
And then
so way past the whole like 9-year-old playing doctor thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then he was molested by a family friend and contractor for about 2 years, it sounds like, between the ages of 10 and 12. And this is according to Terry Sullivan in his book that we just mentioned, Killer Clown.
Oh, it's
Puppies and Flowers with the Killer Clown. Yeah.
This is a different one. The first one is Johnny and Me. This one is called Killer Clown.
Johnny and Me, the Killer Clown.
And so another book written by Sam L. Amarante and Danny Broderick. It states that he was a sickly, overweight, and uncoordinated child. He was unable to perform at sports or even bond with children his own age.
You know what he performed well at? Being a union boss and sitting in his car, air-conditioned car while everyone else worked their asses off.
The book, by the way, was called John Wayne Gacy, Defending a Monster.
That's
yeah, I've got to tell you, at this age that he's at right now that we're talking about, you do kindly feel bad for him. You do.
Yeah.
Because it had to be a very lonely existence, especially being a second child. At least during that time, it always seemed like to me like the second kid kind of always got overlooked. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you had the first one, and then you had usually the last one coming up after that. And being a first child, they're the ones that usually get all the beating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get beat at all.
And the last child gets away with everything.
Well, my mom swears up and down she never spanked me, but I
No, she told me she spanked you once.
No, it was several times.
So
the last time the last time she did bring the belt out, and she stopped when I was just laughing at her. I was like, this isn't hurting. I was already like already taller than both my parents. I was still in grade school, but I shot up to like 6'1" my 6th grade year.
Right.
So, and I was like, meh.
Well, and I'm not excusing John Wayne Gacy for what he did, because there's a lot of people that have horrible high childhood and they don't go out and do this kind of stuff. But it does kind of make you feel a little bad for him at this moment in his life that we're talking about.
Oh yeah. No, my grandma just broke kitchen spoons and brushes on my ass.
My grandma Underwood one time took a butcher knife, turned it to its side, and I got swatted with that. That's how upset she was.
I'm surprised.
She's like, don't make me turn this knife around.
I was surprised. I was like, I literally stopped what I was doing and went and behaved.
I was going to say, you were like, Grandma's going to kill me. Like Ralphie, not Ralphie, but what was Ralphie's brother's name that he gets under the sink? Said, Dad's going to kill Ralphie.
Daddy's going to kill Ralphie.
Oh, I'm going to watch that. Oh, I can't, it's the season now. We can start watching, I can start watching Christmas movies.
I watch A Christmas Story for the 24 hours that they have it on. I literally will put it on.
Yep,
and
me too.
Yeah, this grandma was the one I was telling you about. She was from the deep Ozarks. She was the one who was actually from my mom is from they're both from West Memphis, and they lived in the backwoods in Arkansas, like wherever it is at right there. So we always had to pick a switch, and let me tell, if there's any children, which there should not be any children listening to us right now, but if there is, do not pick the skinny ones. Those hurt the
they
most.
Make the worst
They
part.
will wrap around your leg so many times.
Only did I have the kitchen brushes. I mean the kitchen brushes, the wooden spoons, and those big ass brushes, like the sturdy brushes that she would turn around and she'd break them over my ass.
Oh my god! I remember one time.
But I had a principal that had a paddle.
Oh, I can remember that back in the day. Yeah, all of them did.
Used it on us, and it had holes drilled in it.
I was going to say some of them would drill holes so they're aerodynamic.
Yes, fuck that thing.
I remember one time I was
my son says hi. Sorry,
I was playing ping pong and ding dang. Oh Jesus! I don't know what I would do if I had a ping pong handle shoved up my ass. It wasn't the handle. Been shitting pancakes ever since.
For the record, guys, the reason why we're not getting to comments is because this is the podcast side of things.
We should say hi to everyone.
But I've been waving as people come in, but we will actually say verbally hi and everything.
You pay us, we bring your comments up. All right.
And you know what? Since so many people came through or came in, I'll go ahead and I'll do the Manson dance. I'm like waving to everybody.
Woo!
that TikTok I made. Hey, I'm sorry. So now we can scroll out here for a second.
Hey, Calvin.
Hey,
Nadine.
When your family gets chosen to make the Dark Lord a sandwich and the madness hits just right. Woo!
Hey, Mr. Giggles. I don't have a car, so we're good.
Hey, Mr. Giggles.
Hey, Batman. Hey, Kisa. I'm tired too. Guten Morgen, Sven.
Guten Tagen.
Guten Tagen.
Guten Tagen.
Hey, Raven.
Hi, Raven.
Hey, TK, what's up?
Hi, TK.
What's for dinner? I made stir fry.
I'm probably gonna have carrots after this too.
You wouldn't eat my stir fry.
I had a stomach ache.
He didn't eat my dinner yesterday either.
Can we stop with the ASMR on the sucker right now, okay? Please.
I knew it.
Yeah. Like, just put it down.
No.
Please.
Kisa said my Nana favored the hickory. Oof. My son says hi.
Hi. Came in right when I was talking about playing ping pong and ding dang.
That reminds me of the character
Hands
from
up over
Street
the
Fighter.
ears.
Look,
Smack.
I had a friend, and I won't say who it is, but I had a friend that his dad was the one that would have to handle, the corporal punishment or whatever in the household. Now, this was way back in the day. And his dad was like, you have to bring me what it was the whole, the thing about go pick your own switch thing. You bring me whatever it is you want me to beat you with, basically. And that's what I'll do. And so he had done something. It was fairly, I don't want to say fairly serious, but it was something that even today you would get in trouble for. And so his dad was like, I don't care if you're 16 or not, you know what to do. And so my friend, he was like, okay, I know how I'm gonna do this. So he brought his dad a piece of paper. Did I tell y'all this before?
Oh no, he messed up.
And his dad
bad,
looked
didn't
at
he?
the piece of paper
He's
and
all
looked at
spread your
him.
fingers.
No,
No, I'm just
he
kidding.
took the piece of paper, crumpled it up in his hand, and went, pow!
Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Oh, for the record, don't pick the braided belts either.
No.
They seem like they would be softer, but they're not.
This went
No.
from talking about Gacy to our therapy session. While we all
I
beat bad
know.
children.
While we're on the subject of beating,
While we're on the subject of beating, don't let your mom hit you upside the head with a frying pan. That shit hurt. Okay. You know what? Yeah, that happened. So fuck that shit.
God,
Paper
puts
punishment.
a whole new spin into knocking you into next week.
God, it did.
Yeah, it was what Keisha said, it was paper punishment.
Paper punishment.
Go pick your here. Oh, my son said my mom picks up anything she can throw at me.
It's the chancla. Always throw the chancla because it won't leave a mark. And it's technically not abuse because it's soft. Unless you have the leather ones, then they're not soft. That's funny.
I wonder if some kid ever brought their that when their dad was or parents were like, go pick your switch or whatever, and they just bring back a freaking pot. I'm sorry. Can we just do this instead?
Or a log.
I know
Here,
Dad
bonk, here's a log.
just runs to the liquor store. I know what Dad needs right now. Here you go. Here's your smokes.
You can beat me with this vodka bottle. Just go to your room and give me the vodka bottle.
There goes the high school. Knocked them the next. Yeah, that didn't end very well for anybody.
Wait, they have high school in Germany? I thought you guys had processing centers where you.
Would you?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Sven. I'm kidding.
Poor Finn.
He's my look.
She's got a good arm. She should have been a pitcher for the Padres.
Every time Sven comes in, man, he's my German brother. I'm German. It all comes out.
I just got a large mix of everything. So at school, John Wayne Gacy suffered from alienation. He was unable to play with other children due to a congenital heart condition that was looked upon by his father as just another failing. He experienced frequent seizures and blackouts as a teen and was regularly...
That may have had something to do with the beatings.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, definitely. Well, he was in and out of hospitals regularly. And his father accused him of faking all the ailments for attention. And later in his childhood,
Stop having a seizure and biting your tongue off.
Burn some dirt on that, drink some water, and walk it off.
He's all
change your socks.
Can't even move.
Right. Stop hitting him in the head then. Jeez. So, excuse me. Later in, his teenage years, that's when he would realize that he was attracted to men. and would then experience great turmoil over his sexuality.
Yeah, aside from this, he still idolized his father too. That was a thing with him. Like, I think he, when it gets to his father's death, I think he was super upset over it. Like, he was, very, very attached to his dad.
Put some lemon juice on it, you'll be fine.
Seizuring.
Here's some salt.
His mom just walks by with a lemon, with a juicer, and just juices it over him. All right, he's like, it's just, man, he hasn't had a seizure this long in forever. Man, we better get some lemon juice.
So, career and family life. Despite not graduating from high school, Gacy attended and graduated from the Northwestern Business College in Chicago and then worked as a salesman and a manager at a shoe company. He was Al Bundy.
Yeah, he very much was. He very much was Al Bundy.
In 1964, he met and became engaged to Marilyn Myers, whose father owned 3 KFC restaurants in Waterloo, Iowa.
He was a manager of KFCs. This is fucking hilarious to me.
So, Gacy decided to relocate there and manage the restaurants.
You know, if he was still managing like KFCs, they would bring back the freaking what was the sandwich where they basically had 2 chicken breasts as freaking as bread.
Oh my god, those were,
what was it called?
Are you talking about those little square sandwiches I had?
No, they were like this. They were like a foot long sandwich with giant steroid riddled chicken breasts as bread.
The bread instead of the bread.
It was like a piece of cheese in the center of it
okay,
or something.
chicken rolls are amazing. That's not what we're talking about.
This was
and
like,
he wouldn't go hungry.
But I gotta tell you, when those Chicken Littles came out, this was way back a long time ago. I went out in a freaking blizzard. We don't have snow that much down here in Georgia. I went out in a blizzard to get some Chicken Littles, but they were closed.
Spin.
He got the hetero spanked out of him. The double down.
That's what it was called.
That's what it was. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
The double down. They just recently brought it back for a while. Not too long. Oh, God.
I've never had one of these.
That's when I refused to eat at KFC for the longest time because of that sandwich. I was like, okay, as a nation, we've gone too far. It is really time to start thinking about salads without meat. Please, we are way too fat as a nation.
Was that during 93 Odd Mama?
Well, no. Wait. 93 was that really, really bad one. No, it was one right before that.
I think that's when Taco Bell had the Del Beefer. They're I think it was like a freaking like
that sounds pornographic.
It was gross. It was
Del Beefer
Taco Bell meat as like a loose meat sandwich to compete with McDonald's or something like that. It was disgusting.
I did get yelled at. I'm not the one holding penis-shaped food.
It may have been that one, Keisa. I'm sorry. It may have been that one in 87.
Hold on. It was basically chicken as the buns, cheese, and some kind of sauce in the middle. And I forget what else was on it. Yeah. It's not good. I'm sorry. It's just
I'm having a heart attack right now thinking about it. That's how it was just. The only way I can describe the breasts were like literally they were steroid injected chicken breasts. The ones they were trying to they were just gigantic. It was like a.
But I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so I'm stuck on the cheese. Why would you stick cheese in between 2 chicken breasts? To me, a big long pickle would be a lot better.
I think they had a pickle
excuse
on it.
me? I'm sorry. I'm not letting that one go. Say that again. No. We're talking about that.
A big long pickle.
Okay. All right. We got our clip.
A big long pickle.
Big long pickle.
We had my friend Jen and I used to go out all the time. We had scheduled days that we would be going out. It was usually Monday and Tuesday, okay? And
what day was the double down? That's even pornographic.
But
I'm gonna double down on this. What was that other thing called?
We're doubling down tonight, Jen.
Sorry, Jen.
Sorry, Jen.
We went to this place that, well, it's called Slide Bar. And we were hanging out there. They had a DJ in the front, and they had a punk band in the back, and we were up front eating. And we got those fried pickles, right?
I love fried.
Yeah, but they were the fried pickle spears.
I love the fried pickle spears.
And we ended up, Jen was all the dickle spears.
Who got hot juices shot all over when they bit into it first?
Dickle spears.
Well,
So now they are always dickle spears.
I understand punk bars, so I'm really questioning the legitimacy of whether that was actually a pickle.
Yeah.
Well, it's a band owned by, it was a bar that was owned by Lit, the band Lit.
Was it?
Oh, okay. So it may have actually been a pickle spear.
If it was, that's probably actual food there. But
oh, it's bomb food. I took you there.
I know. It was actually, it was good food. But if it was like gutter punks, that is definitely not a pickle.
No, they've done soaked the hot dog in some pickle juice. They said, dude, let's fry this and sell it.
Put this pickle real slow between this chicken breast and hold eye contact.
That's exactly. Giant chicken breast too.
So
now that I think about it, that is straight.
Because you'd have to hold those big old breasts like that.
And you can't forget the tangy sauce.
Yep. All right, we got to get back into this.
Who are we talking about again? And that's the end of our podcast. Bye, guys.
Double down.
So, Gacy relocated to manage the KFCs, and he and Myers had 2 children, Michael and Christine. This is according to Buried Dreams Inside the Mind of a Serial Killer by Tim Cahill and Russ Ewing.
He didn't take the last name Myers. His son, Michael Myers. Look, the movie came out afterwards, this is roughly a few years before the movie came out. You should have taken the name.
Somebody wants to tickle your pickle.
Okay.
Now, what was the name of this book now?
This one is called Buried Dreams Inside the Mind of a Serial Killer.
Okay, I thought you said fairy dreams, but go ahead.
So Gacy became a self-made building contractor and Democratic precinct captain in the Chicago suburbs in the 1970s. He later speculated that his political involvement might have been an attempt to antagonize his father, who mocked his interest in politics.
Can we stop here for a second? He totally passed up the name Captain Gacy for his clown character. That would have been a better serial killer name right there. Motherfucker, man. No wonder why he was a Democrat. Sven said it too. Democrats.
So I was about to quote him.
Sorry.
So, and maybe it was a way to get acceptance. I was always looking for acceptance because my dad made me feel that I was never good enough.
Yeah, his dad, I think, was a staunch Republican. No joke.
Well liked in his community, Gacy organized cultural gatherings and was active in political organizations and the JC's civic group. Gacy later called this the happiest period of his life and even earned much coveted praise from his father, who said he had been wrong about him. Back then, I was thinking of running for alderman. After that, I wanted to go for mayor. If that worked, I was going to run for the Senate. I didn't see any limits. Can you imagine?
Apparently, he didn't see any limits.
Right?
There's got to be. Okay, seriously, someone needs us to start the collider thingy again and switch realities to one of the ones where Gacy actually made it that far, but was also a serial killer. Like, actually made it to the Senate.
And had a son named Michael Myers, and his secret clown identity was Captain Pogo.
We're going to split the difference, aren't we?
There you go.
Did you see, I know that Odd Mother here totally saw it.
So what?
But,
what I say?
Did you see the article that I sent you that they found a torso in a dumpster in LA today?
Yes, and there's
There
like
we go.
5 other people missing that apparently this person has come in contact
Oh,
with.
and
Mhm.
the model that was just murdered and like left in like I think a suitcase or something like that.
Yep.
I think that happened in Los Angeles too. I could be wrong.
Huh.
Haha.
Well, this goes right into what I'm talking about tomorrow night. It's all about the torso, baby.
Yeah. And all the things you can do with it.
Okay, I gotta bring some comments
Big,
up because
long pickle.
Big long pickles. Tune in tomorrow night. The Horror Gala with Mother de la Mort.
Slippy says when people found out he liked men, he goes, "I'm Gacy."
Gacy.
Oh, that's a good one.
Maybe in an alternate reality.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah, you're out in our area, so yeah.
Yeah, in an alternate reality too. Supernatural is not a wholesome show behind the scenes. Like Jensen Ackles and what's his face hate each other in the alternate reality.
No, never.
Well, it had to be the opposite. That's how it would be. It would have to be like a show that was really good, but they would have so much off-air drama.
I'm actually willing to pay for the whole series so we can hear it like it's supposed to sound.
We're watching
It's on Netflix and they took out all the classic rock
because they couldn't because of licensing. So but if you buy the series, you get all the classic rock that's in there.
Okay.
I'm willing to just purchase the whole series right now.
And I'm cheap because there's 22 episodes each season, and there's a lot of seasons going up until 2022.
I was gonna say, like, that pack is gonna be like, I don't know, 3.5 feet tall.
I'm sorry, but I can't do this without the actual music.
We have been watching this nonstop every night for the past couple of weeks, and we still have not finished season 1.
It's like, I'll see you guys in 5 years. What are they doing? They're still watching Supernatural.
No, right. I'm pissed. I actually do need to buy the whole series because that pisses me off.
So,
for the record, all the quotes that I was just saying actually came from the book Buried Dreams Inside the Mind of a Serial Killer. So let's see. So Gacy was a member of a Chicago area Jolly Joker Clown Club and frequently performed in clown attire and makeup at children's parties.
The Jolly Jokers, is that what they were? I didn't know they were called that.
So he was
Patches.
He would go to
yeah.
Can't even finish the sentence.
I love you.
Oh, it's gonna happen again here in a minute. I'm sorry. She's gonna beat us with her shoe.
I can't even stand the sound of that. So, let's try this again. He was a member of the Chicago area Jolly Joker Clown Club and frequently performed in clown attire and makeup at children's parties, charity fundraisers, and other events as his alter egos. So either Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown. Years later, during a conversation with detectives while he was under surveillance, Gacy discussed his work as a clown, remarking, "Clowns can get away with murder."
That's true.
Well, they could also fit in little bitty cars.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
What is it?
Tommy Lee Jones hates Jim Carrey and actually told him he didn't think he was funny at all while filming Batman Forever.
Wow.
I have to disagree with Tommy Lee Jones.
This is true.
What is it?
Gacy's actually in Supernatural at one point.
Oh, well, thanks. I didn't know that.
Spoiler alert.
Well, that's funny as hell. They can fit in a Prius. I barely fit in a Prius. How the hell does that happen?
Huh.
So, do we want to start on the first sexual assault and arrest?
That's where we're at.
All right. This is quite the picture of John Wayne Gacy.
That was his first stint in jail, I think.
That was his first arrest.
Yep.
In 1968. So in 1968, Gacy was accused of sexually assaulting a teenage boy and attempting to assault another. He vehemently denied those accusations, and some community members believed him over the victim. He persuaded one of his employees to assault the victim in an unsuccessful attempt to stop him from testifying, according to Killer Clown, the book. Gacy was convicted and received 10-year prison sentence. I can't speak. After which his wife divorced him and received full custody of their children.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're abducting teenagers and raping them.
Yeah.
So people tend not to want to be around you.
Well, so Gacy was a model prisoner. He was released on parole in the summer of 1970 after serving 18 months of his sentence. However, Gacy was arrested again the following year after another teen claimed he lured him to his car and drove him to his house, where Gacy tried to force sex upon him. This is according to John Wayne Gacy defending a monster. The charges were dropped when the boy didn't appear during the trial. With financial assistance from his mother, Gacy bought a house on 8213 West Summerdale Avenue in Norwood Park, Illinois. And this was the house that the murders would take place in, according to Buried Dreams.
Can I ask one question here?
Yeah.
Did you purposely avoid saying the first victim's last name?
Oh, I don't have it listed here.
What is it?
I thought you were trying to take care of something before it got out of hand. I was like, say it.
Wait, what is it?
Say it. Donald Voorhees Jr.
Oh,
and when quoted, he said, ch.
We actually have a Voorhees Middle School here in Bakersfield.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that was completely uncalled for on my side.
Why don't vegetarians moan during sex? Because they're afraid to admit that a piece of meat makes them happy.
Big, long pickle.
Long pickles.
You would think being in jail would be his Disneyland.
Right.
Oh, no, don't. Stop it.
He actually, he was a model prisoner when he was there. Every time. Like he didn't have problems. He got the last time he was supposed to be in there for a couple of years and he got paroled within the first year, I think.
This is the first time.
Oh, the 10-year prison sentence. This is it then.
That he had a 10-year prison sentence. I can't speak. And he only served 18 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And in 71, he started a construction business called PDM Contractors, which grew rapidly and became financially successful. Also that year, Gacy became engaged to Carol Hoff, whom he had dated briefly in high school. The two were married in 1972. Most of his employees at PDM were actual high school students and young men basically just out of high school.
Was the requirement to work there to have a long pickle?
Well, he would proposition them for sex and often under the threat of violence. So
you're going to work here. I'm going to kill you.
Basically, Gacy kept up a public front as a community man, hosting summer parties. They were well attended and very popular. And again, this is all according to the book Buried Dreams.
Do you think he had a whole like setup of double downs and stuff like that, like just giant chicken breasts with cheese and pickles in the center of it, like ready for everyone to eat?
God,
I would do that.
Well, it's interesting that we're mentioning these parties because this actually ties back into
it's Stinky.
What?
Oh, a couple of the victims were actually buried underneath the.
No, I was talking about the podcast that we did.
Oh,
where they had mentioned that a lot of the people that were at Gacy's party were actually involved with the kidnappings and sex trade of young children.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird connections. If people haven't listened to that podcast yet, because I mean, yeah, a lot of it's speculation, but it doesn't seem like it's that far out of what literally could have happened.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. So here we go. John Wayne Gacy's victims. Gacy committed his first known murder in January of 72 after luring 16-year-old Timothy McCoy to his house for sex. The next morning, Gacy saw McCoy standing in the bathroom doorway with a knife and rushed to attack him. He wrestled the knife away from him and stabbed him to death. Afterwards, Gacy belatedly realized that McCoy hadn't been attacking or threatening him at all, but he had just made breakfast and was coming to tell him that.
A lot of killers, their first kills are always accidents. They don't mean to, and then they get the rush from it. You know, and it's just goes from there.
Yeah.
But through this, Gacy discovered that he had sexual gratification from killing McCoy, and later said, according to Buried Dreams, that that's when I realized that death was the ultimate thrill.
It's insane to think about that.
It tickled his pickle.
It tickled
his pickle.
Got his long pickle out between the chicken breast or some shit.
I wonder how you get a bonus working there.
Well, you do get a double down. I'll tell you that right now.
Are you talking about Das Führer Kartoffel?
What does he say?
Not like someone who's sniffing young kids. Das Führer Kartoffel. And I know I say that bad, but you at least know what I'm saying. He's got a foot-long pickle stuck up his starfish.
It's okay. We can make fun of Gacy because he's a bastard.
Absolutely. Another of Gacy's victims was John Butkovich, an 18-year-old PDM employee whom Gacy lured to his house with a promise to discuss overdue pay. I think you're going to get your answer, Slippy. And yes, Brandon.
You if you ask about your pay, you're gonna get the garrote.
Yeah.
But first, you're gonna get the pickle.
You're gonna get the pickle.
Once there, Gacy plied him with alcohol and tricked him into putting on handcuffs and then strangled him.
Oh, that is another one of his tricks that's how he got most of his victims. I can't even believe we left that out.
It wasn't a pickle, it was a balloon animal.
He always did the handcuff trick and they always went for it. Who
was that other one you guys have talked about? The two guys that did the same thing.
Oh, BTK? No, Toolbox.
Was it? No, they never had any of the victims besides.
No, the Candyman. It was the Candyman, wasn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
Coral.
We brought it up. We brought it up on the sex trafficking episode that
Kinky.
They both had the same MO.
They did.
Yeah. And that's being that they're separated and supposedly never met. How do they know how to do this?
But it sure seemed like they may have traveled in the same circles.
Oh, yeah.
And there were a lot of magazines back then. Like magazines were the thing. So I would not put it past, people, because there were those kind of magazines.
It's in an era where the whole underground films and
underground magazines and
all that stuff was prevalent, because a lot of the stuff at the time was mostly, you see what he got. He basically, the most he was going to get for this stuff was 10 years, and he was going to go back to his life.
Yeah.
And the laws were a lot different. Okay. Like, to show my age, okay, which I'm going to do. I remember when this was back when emails first became a thing, which was way back. I'm talking about like somewhere around the early to mid 80s, like way back. And people were selling drugs through email because the police could not go into your email. It would be the same as listening to a phone conversation or going through your mail without a warrant.
Yep.
Now they've since changed all that, but there were really easy ways for people to get by with this kind of stuff.
I got a message today from somebody that I added randomly, asking me if I wanted to buy
heroin.
No. Well, hold on. This is great.
Pickle.
No podcast.
No. It totally ties in. psychedelic products for anxiety, depression, stress, pain, insomnia, PTSD, fun, etc. I have a variety of strains of magical mushrooms, mushroom capsules, LSD, DMT. Also I have some chill pills, ecstasy,
This guy got
chocolate
reported,
bars,
just to let you guys know.
seeds, clone cards, fake banknotes, ketamine, MDMA, vape pens. I knew that those existed. And I was wondering if you're interested, homie.
Now, totally one, you're a narc, and two, you got reported.
Yeah.
Because that's illegal as fuck, man.
Right. So, no, I had to read that. That was hilarious. I'm like, seriously. And I just went, I don't think I'm in the right area, bud.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of weird things going on right now. I don't know if people have noticed in a lot of the groups.
Mm-hmm.
There's like all this porn stuff. I mean, like,
that is true.
My God, if you post a picture of an onion, Zuck's gonna mistake it for a nipple, a titty with a nipple. But you've got some full-on in-your-face pickle action going on, and I'm like, how the hell do they do this and get away with it? It's like the old days of the internet.
There are times where I'm just like hanging out and I'm scrolling like at a restaurant, like just doom scrolling through my phone and stuff like that. And I'm on Facebook, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like hardcore, like porn scene.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this has been going on. Because we know a couple of people that have groups that, which, you know, I was like, you guys need to like lock down your group like we have ours locked down right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the biggest problems is the you can do this with the private groups regardless. You can spam it out, and a lot of people will just come in and do whatever. But when you do that, you got to watch out, because that's when you're getting bots or other people coming in. And
but I'm not understanding how the Facebook bots aren't catching this. Like, they will flag you for a freaking onion that looks like a breast with a nipple.
We're good now.
I can talk now.
Yeah, I muted.
It's fine.
I muted for a second.
So I'm sorry you messed up my train of thought on this.
What are we doing? I'm
just
so lost.
She killed a spider right now off.
Oh, okay.
There's a barking spider over here, and she had to kill it.
I stepped on a duck.
A barking spider?
A venomous duck was over here. It's rotting in the background.
You know
right
what?
now.
There's no.
Is that like tree frogs? We have those around here too.
California crotch crickets.
There's definitely a dead animal in this room right now. I mean, people clearly saw you lift up off the chair.
Tonight on the podcast, how I got a 30-day ban for posting something on Facebook that I found on Facebook. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, the Dahmer memes. Oh my God. Remember that shit?
Yes.
When everyone was catching a ban on that. And I was like,
come on.
And it was Manson before then, and who else? It was somebody else before then.
How many?
Ramirez.
Oh,
Ramirez.
And it was always like a year later. It wasn't like it was all of a sudden out of nowhere. It was like, why are we getting reported for
I
this?
got one from 2017.
Look, why doesn't Facebook just take that shit down? Like, really? Like, this is like some sort of elementary mind play that Facebook likes.
You know,
don't even get me started about Facebook. We're only here because our friends are here. I cannot stand Facebook.
To be fair, the entire page was created so that Zuckerdouche could stalk an ex-girlfriend and have his friends stalk her in return.
You know what happens
but now we can't post anything insulting. Really?
You know what happens now?
You fucking stalker little baby that needs a fucking booster.
When you post something to X or Twitter and it's not supposed to be up there, they just say take it down. And you take it down and you don't get a violation over it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
They say, do you want us to put a warning on top of this?
Yeah.
That's how you do adults when they're dealing with a private entity. That's how you do it.
Yep.
You don't do it like a middle school eighth grader.
And we were talking about this earlier too. We're able to post things on Instagram, and even though it's the same company, the same like parent company that owns both Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is fun and easy to deal with things, but then you have Facebook. What's the point of this?
I like a page on Facebook, and it'll be about like like puppies or something, and then like a few days later, it's some chick in a G-string twerking on the reel. And I'm like, okay, great. She has a nice ass, but that's not what the page I liked. Like, and if I were to even do that, one, I would be banned from Facebook forever. And
it's crazy.
Nobody needs to see that shit. So.
It's crazy.
All right. We need to get back into this. We scrolled enough.
We're just going to get taken off Facebook at this point.
Wait, what time? Where are we at right now? Hour? We're at an hour?
You can get in trouble for scrolling too fast.
Wait, what?
It's true.
I haven't gotten in trouble for that yet.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually... that's insane. And I scroll, like I just said it right now, I scroll fast as shit through my Facebook.
Well, see, I did that when like I used to share to groups. Like, a tip. Don't share to more than 10 groups per hour.
Yeah.
That is a great way to set off a bot.
Yeah.
But used to, I would just go share, be done with it, walk away, do what I need to do. You're sharing to groups too fast. All right, let me slow down like I am 6 years old.
It's insane.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't. No.
All right.
You know what? Let's do a part 2.
No.
We're going to do a part 2.
That was going to happen.
We're actually stopping out at just over an hour tonight. We're not going to go 3 hours. Wait, where's Tyler and Vice?
I do not know.
They're going to come in right now. Yeah, I'm down for a part 2. I think we should do
we could do a part 2. That'd be cool. Oh, but I do want to tell you about this weird thing before we go tonight. I want to tell you about this weird thing that happened to Odd Daughter.
Yes.
Like now?
No, go ahead. She saved the notes, and all of a sudden there was a picture of a solar powered sex machine with a long pickle.
A long, bumpy, crooked
apparently he's
pimple.
one of the editors.
Oh, so what happened to Odd Daughter?
Okay, so this is really weird. All right, so well, I shouldn't say it's weird, but like a lot of times when like weird stuff happens to you, and the reason, because I had something when I was about her age really weird happen to me, and of course parents, the parents didn't believe me, and so I was like, well, I believe you. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, or after I ask you questions, and if you tell me no, it wasn't that, I'm going to believe you, because usually when those weird kind of things happen, it's not like a story. Like, if you ever notice, like, there's any kind of, like, really weird paranormal thing or something like that happens, there's never really a beginning or an end. It's just a weird situation that happens, and then it doesn't happen. It happens, and then it's over. So last night, I was at work, and, of course, she was already in bed asleep when I come home. I was at work and came in, and but she was telling me about it today. So it's been relatively warm here. It's supposed to get cooler. And so we had the doors open, and I had the door set in a way to where, because it was so windy, I didn't want like the screen door flapping around and stuff like that. So she had to go outside to basically unhook it to where the screen door wouldn't flap around and we could keep the door open.
Yeah.
And so it was already dark. It was around 8 o'clock, and we're up against like a small forest. Like, there is a cemetery right there.
Oh, that's right.
And
that's so
right
cool.
there's a cow pasture. And then right there's a patch of woods that goes back for probably a fourth of a mile. Okay. Nice. It goes pretty far back there. And so you're always hearing like deer come through there, and God forbid if it's like an armadillo, because those things sound like an elephant is like busting through the woods. Because they do all the rooting and all that kind of stuff. That are awesome. Yeah, they are. And so anyway, she said I went outside to feed the cat and some other stuff, and she was unhooking the thing I had hooked up to keep the screen door from flapping open and stuff because of the wind. And she said, I just had this weird feeling like I needed to look behind me, like when somebody's staring at you. You know, you get that weird prickle on the back of your neck, like somebody's looking at you.
Yeah.
That's the reason I always tell you, if you stare at somebody, stare at them from the side of your eye. Like private detectives will tell you that. So anyway, she just had this feeling, and right about the time she got that feeling, she heard like crunch, 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 like very, think of a cat, like very predatorial.
Yeah.
Like very deliberate and very like crunch, crunch. And so she turned around, and we've got this like light, this outdoor light, but the way that it shines, it doesn't really illuminate that area, but it illuminates kind of the driveway.
Yeah.
That's between us and that patch of woods. And so she turned around and she saw this thing that once the light touched it, like once it was obvious, it realized she had seen it, it decided to run at her.
Oh,
and
wow.
I asked her, I said, well, what did it look like? Because I was trying to figure out what it was, because that sounded feline to me, is what that sounded like. And she said that it was of medium height. It was no larger than like a German Shepherd, or it was big. I mean, it wasn't huge like a bear or something, but it was pretty big. And the direction that it was coming at her, you're not going to get a silhouette. It's going to look round.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like non-reflective, like it had fur.
Huh.
And I asked her, I said, well, what happened? And she was like, well, she heard it walking on the leaves, and between the point that she turned around and saw whatever it was, and it started to pounce, it was so fast that it got halfway across the driveway before she grabbed onto the banister and literally slung herself into the house and slammed the door and locked it. And she said, I could still hear it running towards me when I closed the door. And I said, well, did anything come up on the steps? Like did you hear any noises? She's like, no. And that was just the end of it. But for the life of me, I can't figure out what it would have been. I mean, I guess it could have been a coyote. It could. I mean, there are tales of mountain lions around here, even though they say they don't exist in this area anymore. There's been a lot of legends about them, so I don't know. I don't know what it could be.
That's crazy.
Or, as Calvin said,
the sheep
squatch.
The sheep squatch. I told her, I said, well, honey, I don't know what it could be.
So you're saying Odd Daughter doubled down on getting back inside.
Oh, she said I flew. She said somehow she grabbed the banister and like flung herself into the house.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But it definitely sounded predatorial. I mean, you know, if it would have been a deer trying to sneak by, the minute you saw it, it's going to take off in the opposite direction or left or right. It's not going to come right at you like, oh shit, they've done, you know, my prey's done seen me, so I guess I'm going to have to go ahead and like make a run to try to drag it off and attack it. So yeah, it was really weird.
It sounds rabid.
You don't really hear a lot of right when I looked at it, it decided to come at me. That's the weird part about it.
That's the weird part about it.
That's why I said rabid, because there's different stages of rabies. And there's only like 4 cases ever really confirmed in the States every year. But the first stage is actually that they're like chill around you. Like if you ever have a wild animal that comes up to you that's usually a predator and they're like almost loving, that's one of the first signs of it. But once they have hit that point of just completely rabid, looking at them will make them run at you.
But
Just barely even looking.
But why was it creeping up on her? Would they do that too?
Yeah.
When you
They
have
do.
not exactly though, they're more stumbling and stuff like that. They're not
That's
creeping.
true.
They're not thinking about like stalking. They're just thinking about whatever they're losing their minds.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be
Right.
stalking or creeping or anything like that.
Would they be making noises? Because this almost
they'd be
sounds to
noises.
me like a big cat
Yeah. I mean, they would
description.
make noises.
And
would.
we technically aren't supposed to have big cats
But
around
the
here.
crazy thing is big cats, because where you live is there's a few people living there, like close, door to door almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big cats wouldn't go in that area because they wouldn't feel safe.
That's why I said rabid.
Yeah.
See, that would make sense to me, like a rabid coyote or something.
Because they lose all fear of humans at that point.
Rabid wombat. It was
It's
rabid
wombat.
Rabid wombat from the Magic the Gathering. That's what it was. Someone casted rabid wombat.
Yeah, so it was really weird. But when she said it was like no larger than a German Shepherd, I was like, well, maybe it was somebody's dog, or maybe it was one of the cats, or she's like, no, it was much bigger than that.
Yeah.
It was more dog size or coyote size.
Oh,
I know, isn't that creepy?
Skinwalker.
Isn't that creepy?
It's one of those things, because it's the whole stalking and then you spot, and it's almost that's almost like, okay, I'm ready for the sport of this and I know what I'm doing.
It's creepy.
Food.
And that's the reason I believe her, because there's no like build up to it or like some sort of conclusion. It just happened and then it didn't happen.
I'll tell you who would have a build up to this. Sam Raimi, if he would have wrote this scene. It would have just been like random scenes of Piper just doing stuff outside, feeding the cats, and then all of a sudden the whole demon coming up and the roar.
I mean, there are urban legends and folklore about Black Panthers around here. Of course, someone will tell you from a scientific standpoint that there are no big cats around here, but
it's not beyond them to wander into.
It's not beyond, the pale.
We always have in our area, because we're only like 40 minutes away from the mountains, or from or we're also another like 45 minutes away from the desert, everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
And we have bears that wander down in as far as to our area, which is a pretty big ways away, and we have coyotes, all this other stuff. We have big cats that wander in here, everything, but they're unheard of it here, but they do come over from the mountains. So
right. So I don't know.
One of those things.
It's just very bizarre.
All right, guys, we are out of here. We're tired too.
I'm tired.
So do we want to do any house cleaning or anything before we say c'est la vie?
Your show tomorrow night?
Yes. Torsos everywhere.
Long tickles.
Torsos everywhere.
And this one is a gross one. A gross one. And we're not talking about like, well, it goes by either the Thames torso murders or the Thames mystery. There's a couple of different names that it goes by. So it's a good one. Yeah. And it takes place during the same time as Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And
that's the reason a lot of people haven't heard of it.
Steve the Cat's back Monday, right? Yep. Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yep. And then we're back next Friday, a week from this Friday.
Awesome.
So, and then we'll be back with part 2 of Gacy in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And maybe part 3 if we can't get through part 2.
I think we're gonna get through part 3. There's something I know there was something I wanted to do, and I was thinking about it, because we were talking about how this is basically doing John Gacy right now as a palate cleanser, because we've been doing nothing but cults and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.